Right, well, good afternoon, everybody. Not many of you on watching at the moment. It is very quiet, of course, on Sunday afternoon. But this will be held as a recording on our page as well. So you can come back to this and have a good look through it. Today I am with, if I'm sure you've seen the small advert I put on earlier on, I am with Tim Finch. And Tim is setting up, in fact, do you know what? Let's introduce Tim and let him tell us rather than me bore you to death. Good afternoon to you, Tim.
Good afternoon, John. Lovely to be with you.
Good man, and thank you very much for joining us. Very short notice too, because I saw it this morning and straight on. So thank you very much.
No problem. Lovely to be here.
Can I just ask you a couple of questions to start with? I was asked by somebody this morning, what areas do you cover? And before you answer that question, just tell us briefly what it's all about. Where are these computers coming from? And that sort of thing. Just a very small outline on it, if you would.
Yeah, sure. Well, myself and two colleagues, we've set up something called SCHOL. And if you can read it in the background here, you might be wondering why we can't spell, but there are reasons for that. But basically, we're three IT people who live in Wellington, Taunton and Bridgwater, and we just, two of us are families, and we've realised there are families struggling, children at home because of the lockdown, not able to get their children online for various reasons, and we thought we have the ability to turn old laptops into new laptops, donate them to families in need so the kids can go to school, and that is what we're here for.
Terrific, Tim, that sounds good. I'm assuming this has come from, obviously the schools are now closed apart from to some of the key worker children. Right. So the kids are stuck at home there, and your service obviously will provide those children, well, certainly the parents who can't afford additional computers, etc., for the kids to learn from home. Presumably that's basically what it's about, yeah?
Absolutely. Really what we wanted to do was, we saw two things. We saw that there are people who've probably got old laptops, perhaps they've moved on to new equipment, it's sitting in the corner, unloved and all forlorn, and we can turn it into something that can bless a child in a family situation here in the area. But we're particularly, it's all on a donation basis. We ask people to donate the laptop. We're renovating it as volunteers. We're going to give them away for free. And we're really trying to reach families who can't afford to go out or go online to Currys or places like that and order a new laptop, but they desperately need one. And we're trying to do it as swiftly as possible. So that's really the purpose. It's to take forlorn laptops. And if anyone watching has a laptop stuck in the corner thinking, oh yeah, I could blow the dust off that one, we'd love to have it, please, so that we could repurpose it for families who are in need across our area.
That's great, Tim. Thank you. A couple of questions for you then. In terms of areas, obviously we're in, I'm in Bishop's Hull in Taunton. You yourself are in Comeytrowe in Taunton. Whereabouts are you? I'm presuming it's not Taunton from what you're saying, with your colleagues being in Wellington and Bridgwater. So would it be further afield, or?
Well, you can see that the no expense spared graphic in the background here.
Very good.
Bridgwater, Taunton and Wellington, because that's where the three of us live, and the three of us being myself, I'll just show you here quickly. My friend Dan, who lives in, or just outside of Bridgwater, and a very good friend Simon Sparks, who's down in Wellington, and I'm here in Taunton. And so between the three of us, we're covering these three areas and the villages in between, but we just want to keep it local. People donate local, we're working on them local, we return them to families local.
Brilliant. That sounds a good idea, and you can keep it quite local, as you say, with the three of you maintaining it. In terms of the main thing, I know you said to me this morning that clearly the purpose of this initially is you can't get this going without the actual items you need to use. So initially you need to find people who've got these old dusty laptops lying around. Why, out of interest, or perhaps you can, are you doing PCs or iPads or anything else?
Yeah, it's a great question, John. We're concentrating on laptops only. So I'm afraid we don't want old iPads. We don't want desk-based computers. We're not going to work on tablets. What we found is that kids really need laptops because they tend to have the webcams built in. Hence, I'm on my laptop, you can see me. There's a lot of video-based classes going on for kids at schools. So they need that kind of facility. They need the keyboard for doing the work. So we're just concentrating on laptops only, and preferably laptops, John, which are 2010 models or newer. We can work slightly older models, but we'd prefer 2010 or newer. So Windows 7 laptops, Windows 8 laptops, older Windows 10 laptops would be ideal. We take Apple Mac laptops, that we can also repurpose those just as easily as well. So that's really the kind of equipment we're after. And we're really asking if anyone's watching, or friends and family or neighbours who might have a dusty old laptop, it's been sitting in the corner for 2 years since you bought your shiny new one, we'd love to have it, please, so that we can give it to families in need in the area.
That sounds great. A couple of questions that I'd like to ask you from a personal, not a personal level, but I think people or residents would want to know the answers to these.
Yeah.
In terms of GDPR, so obviously the information you receive on your website. I note on your website that to apply for these things, whether it be to give a computer, a laptop rather, or to volunteer, we'll come on to that in a moment, or indeed to ask for one of these computers, you need to give some information on there. So what happens to the person's information?
Well, it's a really good question, John. So the three of us all run our own businesses, and because we're trying to respond quickly to local need, we're obviously not setting up a charity or going through all the slow processes to do that. This is just three people in the community responding to the community. And we are therefore, the website, which we'll talk about in a minute, when people fill in the form, that's turned into an email. That email comes to me initially. Once SCHOL has finished and the need has passed, lockdown is over, we'll just delete all the emails. We'll also remove any data that's stored on the website at that point, and that's the only place the data will be. We run the website on Wix.com. It's a professional platform, which people may have come across if they're a website. Brilliant platform. That's how we've managed to knock out the website in 12 hours. So it's all being done on professional, reliable equipment, and it's largely just emails back and forth between us and those donating and requesting. And we will delete all that data after we finish the operation. We really here just for lockdown. That's the idea.
Sure. We did have a question earlier from Kim. Kim, as you can see there, says, does it matter how old the laptops are? You've answered that. Thank you. 2010 onwards, obviously there, Kim.
Ideally 2010 onwards, but if it's slightly older, let us know. Sure.
Thank you. In terms of donations, I noticed I've obviously read your website now, been through it. Very good too. In terms of donations, you're saying that people can donate or have the laptops free of charge. If they don't need them free, they can donate £25 or whatever it might be. I think your top amount was £100. I'm sure people would like to know where that money's going and how it's being spent. I think the answer is probably obvious, but let's ask it anyway.
Well, just to perhaps clarify a little bit. So we're asking people to donate laptops, and we're not asking people to donate laptop plus money. If you have a laptop, please can we have it? That's all you need to do. Separately, for anyone who feels they would like to, they're welcome to donate some money. And actually the kind of money we really need is for things like memory units at about 25 quid, power supplies 30 quid. Some laptops come but the power unit doesn't work, the memory is wearing out, we need to replace it. So it's low price parts that we need to buy, and so any donations go towards parts to improve the laptops before they're sent on. And so it's quite typical. Donate laptops or donate money. They're not necessarily one and the same. And we are just, you referred to £100. What actually that's to do with is when people are requesting a laptop for either themselves in their own family, or if they're perhaps asking on behalf of a family they know, say a school or a friend or a social worker or whoever, we're just simply asking whether we're trying to help assess those who are genuinely in need. And so that's part of a set of questions just to help us get a little bit of a feel for who's genuinely in need of a free laptop right now. What we are suggesting is people who can afford £100, for example, to buy a laptop, we're recommending them on to local businesses who actually sell refurbished laptops professionally around that price, because then you get all the full warranty and everything else and after sales service. So it's really just people perhaps don't realise they can buy refurbished laptops, and they might be thinking can't afford £500 at Curry's, but actually £100 at a local shop here in our area may be ideal. So it's just a sort of signpost. That was what that was about. But really, donate laptop or donate a bit of money to help us buy parts. That's really what we're asking for in SCHOL.
Thank you, Tim, for that. You've partially answered my next question. How do you check who is actually deserving of these laptops? Because there is obviously the thought, I know, I think it was in Bristol, they did a scheme which wasn't, I have to say, as well run as this, or as well designed at the back end, if you like, where people were applying for them and actually they could well afford to buy their own. So I just went, for those who are doubting, perhaps for those who are perhaps watching now, and they have an dusty old laptop hidden under the stairs or something, and they're thinking, well, I'd like to give that, but I don't want it going to just somebody who actually could probably afford it. So you partially answered that. Is there any more to what you do to check that?
Well, it's a very good question. We are asking people to be trustworthy. This is a community event. It's people in the community trying to help other people in the community, and quickly. And on that basis, what we can't have is 3 pages of forms that need 2 referees, and then we've got to check with schools or social workers or whatever. We're just asking people to be trustworthy, and we have a set of questions on the request a laptop form on our website. And we do ask anybody who would like a laptop, you do need to fill our form in on the website. That's the only way we will consider a request. And we ask you to answer those questions truthfully, and we will take it on trust. So we would ask people not to be untruthful. Please be truthful answering those questions. And then once we get requests in, if there are more requests than laptops, we will try and deal with those whose needs look greater as a result of those questions. There's also a box, people can just write text if there's something specific that they want to say. And we will just simply make a judgment call who to give a laptop to first. A single parent family on benefit, 3 under 11s at home, 1 laptop, the dog is screaming, and more to get the laptop than, you see what I mean? It's just...
These my kids have left home to.
Yeah, we trust you, please trust us. And, for those watching who are thinking of donating, we will do our best, but, if someone takes us for a ride and we don't know it, what can we do?
So let's assume you get a lot of laptops donated to you. Even though someone doesn't particularly need a free one, can they buy those laptops from you?
We're not selling laptops. This is a community activity, so everything is donated either inbound or outbound.
Oh, well done.
People who receive laptops are welcome to donate, like anybody else in the community. If they want to chip in a tenner or whatever, they're welcome to do it, but there is absolutely no requirement. We are not selling laptops, and we offer no warranty with the laptops. We obviously do our best to renovate them as best we can, and any which are obviously busted we won't use. We've all worked in IT, we know about this stuff. But they come with no warranty, and we want to make that really clear. That will be clear when we sell a laptop as well.
I'm sure you can see the question there from Kim. Thank you for that one, Kim. Do Tim and the team clean the laptops and data?
Absolutely, we do.
That.
Absolutely, yes. We wipe the laptop. If they come with data on some of the laptops, we have to take the memory unit out and put a fresh one in. So then in effect it's clean, and then we install software fresh. Where we can reuse the memory unit, we do indeed clean them first before we refresh them. But what we are allowing, people who donate a laptop, what they can request on the donate a laptop form on our website is to ask for their memory unit to be given back to them. So once we receive the laptop, so long as it's not one of those tricky monster laptops with no screws in the bottom and you need 78 drills to get into it, there are a few like that, I can tell you. The ones which are easy to undo, we will happily take the memory unit out, and the donor can have the memory unit back, so that their own data is on that memory unit back in their house. The laptop is completely clean of their data. We will then put a new memory unit in. So we're very happy to work with donors according to what they feel most comfortable with.
That's superb. So just starting with the computers then, if somebody wanted to donate a computer, what is the thing they must do?
Well, what everyone needs to do is go to the website, because we're doing all of the communication via the website. If people comment on this thread on Facebook, or if they're seeing this video anywhere else, that doesn't count as an application either way. Everything, please, on this website, SCHOL.tech, SCHOL standing for Somerset Computers for Home Online Learning, hence the 1 O, not 2 O's, because you will not believe, John, how much school.tech website costs to buy. It was a bonkers amount of money. So I'm quite glad the acronym works with 1 O, so it's 1 O. Now, the other thing just to say is that, I know you might not be able to see this very well, but when you want to come to our website, please type it in on the very top line of your screen, not the Google box down here, because we're so new, Google don't know about us. So you probably won't find us if you search for us in the middle box. So the very, very top box on your screen, SCHOL.tech, and that should get you straight to our website, where everything is done. You fill in forms for donating, you fill in a form for requesting, and we are also looking for people to volunteer driving the laptops around. We've obviously got to get laptops from donors. We need to take laptops to these to the families who need them. If you are willing and able to drive laptops from A to B to C, we might need some laptops moving between Dan, Simon and me as well. We would very much like to hear from you. We are best placed to sit at home wiping and preparing laptops, not driving around. So if anybody's willing to volunteer, there's a form.
To clear that bit up, Tim, I'm assuming you're saying to people, use your own car too. It's not you don't supply that.
Yeah. Use your own car, and if we get donated some money, we'll happily give some petrol money to people to cover petrol. That's no problem at all. That's obviously a cost of trying to do this, so that's part of it. Not just buying parts for computers, but to cover people's petrol costs for driving around for us. But if anyone is willing to do that, they're sitting at home, perhaps they're on their own, they're maybe younger, John, and not so prone to COVID, and are just thinking, what can I do to help in my community? You can drive some laptops around for us from A to B to C. We'd love to hear from you. Go to SCHOL.tech, fill in the form, let us know about it. We do all of our communication on the website.
Brilliant, Tim. Thank you for that. Another question for you then. What happens to those people who haven't got broadband? There aren't many. No. But those that haven't, what happens to them? I mean, the other concern, obviously, is they probably won't see this. However, I'm hoping that we've got a few more people watching now, and there will be many more who watch the recording of this. It will go on our page, by the way, for those of you watching, so that if you'd like to share that with your friends, please do. But tell your neighbours who perhaps haven't got broadband that you know of, and just say to them, look, Tim can answer your question, and hopefully you can tell me what that answer is to.
Yeah, it's a very good question. It's obviously tricky because for children to work at home successfully with their schools, they obviously need to be online. So where a family doesn't have a home phone line with broadband and Wi-Fi on it, which most people obviously do, then you can connect laptops via mobile broadband. And that can be done either via a 4G mobile phone. It might be the family have a 4G mobile phone. Now, that is down to your data allowance with your provider. But assuming you have a high data allowance on a mobile phone, it can be used to bring the internet in from the mobile phone network through the phone and then onto the laptop. So that's one solution for families. We have said on our website, we're not making a big deal of it, but one of the things we are asking for donations of is redundant 4G smartphones that people no longer need. Perhaps if you've had an old phone, you've upgraded recently, it's sitting in a drawer, we can turn those into devices that bring in the internet signal from the mobile phone network into the phone, and then it transmits it onto the laptop for those rare cases where people have no other option. The other thing to do...
Can you not just a data card, as it were?
Well, you can buy a dongle that plugs in on USB. That's another option as well. So they're not too expensive, but they do need a SIM card, and then you need to pay someone like O2 or Vodafone, whoever, to get the signal. But well, just mentioning the 4G phones, because there's a chance there's probably one in the house already that might transpire to be good enough for the schooling. You might need to speak to your phone provider, O2, whatever, to ask them to put up your data allowance. It will use a lot more data to do that. But the alternative, John, is if people live in neighbourhoods where they're friendly with their neighbours, and perhaps terrace houses or what have you. Oh, sorry, I've just had a strange screen come up. Give me 2 seconds just to get that out of the way. I can't see you. There you come back. Is to ask neighbours, could our child use your Wi-Fi through the wall? You obviously need to have a good relationship with your neighbour to do that, but that's another option for people who are struggling.
Sure. Just a quick question here from Sean, which I know you've answered anyway, but he's got a 17-inch Dell monitor. Well done, Sean. That's great news. He'd like to hand that over. So presumably the advice is, Sean, pop along to the website.
Sean, yes, thank you so much. I mean, we're so grateful for people willing to donate, but we are only taking laptops. We're only working with laptops. We're not taking computers at all. However, by all means, Sean, go ahead and offer those monitors on perhaps forums like CCHT, Coronavirus Community Health Taunton. It's got 17,000 people on it. You're bound to find someone who'd be interested in them. 17 inches are a good size monitor. But I'm afraid we're only taking laptops.
Glad you cleared that one up. And just a final question, I think. Do you supply printers, that sort of thing?
Good question. We're not doing printers. We're only going to take in laptops, refurbish and pass on laptops. Of course, if families need a printer, maybe scour second-hand ads, or you can buy relatively cheap printers online, tens of pounds from local resellers, the chain stores, as well as the local providers in any of the towns that you live in, Bridgwater, Taunton, Wellington, where we're operating. But I'm afraid we are, just because there's only 3 of us, we've got families. I've got two secondary school age girls. They grow up too quick. Working from home at school, we understand the pressures parents are under in this house. Dan's much the same. He's got under 11s in his house. So we understand the pressures, and so our time is limited. So we just want to get the laptops in, refurbished and out without too many side complications.
I said last question, didn't I? It wasn't the last question.
I know you've done too well.
2 more points I wanted to... I never stop talking, as you know, Tim, as you know. So in terms of the other bits and pieces that you find in your laptop, you have things like Microsoft Word. What about ongoing costs, etc.? I mean, what happens there? Do you? I presume you install that.
Yeah. So what we are going to do with these laptops, it depends how old and how high quality the components are in the laptop. For the older laptops, we are going to put on Ubuntu Linux software. Now, people might think, what on earth is that? Let me tell you, it's just like Windows, but it's 3 times as quick and it's free. And
I'm nodding along, Tim, because I'm trying to look intelligent.
Yes. So we're putting on Linux, it's free software. On top of that, we're putting on LibreOffice, which is a direct equivalent to Microsoft Word for doing documents. And then you can also run Teams and Zoom. Now, Teams and Zoom are probably the 2 most likely programs schools are using to connect with the school children. So both of those programs will be on every laptop we ship, Teams and Zoom. For the better laptops, we will probably reinstall them with Windows 10, because if they come with Windows 10, we can reinstall it for free. But we can't put Microsoft Office and Word and Excel on, because that costs money. So again, that will be LibreOffice to do the documents, Teams and Zoom.
That's brilliant. I mean, the main thing really is that they're in contact with their school. They can do their
webcam, speakers, microphone, chatting to the teacher, and then write any documents they need to write. That's really it. That's the whole point, is to get them into that communication live, real time with the classes.
Tim, thank you so much for this.
Pleasure.
It's easy reading these things, isn't it? I saw it actually earlier on Facebook. And thought we'd better have a chat and get this organised with you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Such swift response. It's brilliant.
We need to do that, don't we? We need to get this going. And from your sake, thank you so much for doing it. I think perhaps just to refresh people's minds, then you can see behind Tim there, SCHOL.tech. .tech is a domain name, so it's like .co.
You've got to type in. Yeah.
And don't forget to put it in the actual browser, the browser bar at the very top.
Yeah, the very top of your screen. Type it in up here. Don't type it in the Google search box. Just literally at the top, erase whatever's there. I'm trying to move my finger in the right place. Erase whatever's there. Type in SCHOL.tech. That's all you got to do, and it should take you. Google don't know about us, John, because 24 hours ago this website didn't exist.
Having a good look at the website, I have to say it's very easy to navigate your way around it, and I would any of you watching now to go and have a look at it anyway.
Yeah,
if you can donate your old laptop, fantastic. If you'd like to volunteer, get yourself out of the house, do it safely.
We need drivers to move the laptops around, so please volunteer if you can drive. We need laptops, 2010 up to now. Slightly older than 2010, let us know, but 2010 or newer, please. Let us know if you want to request a laptop for a family who are desperately in need. You've got 3 kids at home, 1 laptop you're sharing, 1 parent's having to look after them, maybe on benefits. You don't have to be on benefits, but, just a request. If we don't have your request, we can't consider it. We can only give out the laptops we're given, though, John. So we do need people to donate, please.
Indeed. Thank you, Tim, for your time. I very much appreciate it. I haven't said Happy New Year to you. I know it's a bit late, but Happy New Year
as well. Yes, I know it's not been the best start to the year, but I do think by the end of the year we'll look back and say, phew, thank goodness we've emerged from this pandemic. We're all looking forward to that.
A big thank you to Dan and Simon as well.
Yes, no, they'll no doubt have a good laugh watching me on this video later today. But I'm sure if they were here, they'd be, well, they're not allowed to be, of course, but they would be thanking you as well.
Thank you, Tim. I'll say good afternoon to you, and thank you all for watching along this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
As I said earlier on, this will become a video on the page, so if you want to watch it back, you are more than welcome. Don't put any. I mean, please do use the facility to chat underneath the post, but obviously don't put your requests in the post.
No, only on the website. The only way we're communicating everything is via the website and email that it generates. That's all we're doing. We're not doing phone calls. It's just got to be via the website, please.
That's brilliant. Thank you all so much for joining me, and Tim, of course, and thank you to you, Tim. And I'll say
nice meeting you. Bye. Thanks.